Yes, I
Okay,
yes. Yes.
Anybody interested in Passchendaele?
Is that Belgium? Like,
It is Flanders. Then we're going to go down to the archives down below, and we're going to be down in Kimberley, the archivist, and he's going to give you an overview of the First World War to date.
So you can find, stories about, because a lot of them wrote letters back and they were often published.
Who would like to learn how to use the microfiche machine? Okay, Abdi and Sue.
because I heard things about First World War One from my grandmother telling me about my uncles that went to war and never came back.
Working, living in temporary wooden huts.
Oh, I've seen some there.
Yeah.
It's very interesting.
You enjoy it.
Yeah, they'd come back on leave and just instantly marry and then go
That's
off
right.
again and never come back. They'd be married to someone they didn't actually know.
I'm going to give you a little bit of history of why the War Memorial Park was set up and why it is so important in remembering soldiers that died in previous wars and conflicts in Coventry. So it was opened in July 1921. The main aim of it was as a memorial to remember the soldiers that had fallen in conflict during the First World War.
Yeah, because we've got the elephant on the pole up in the middle of town,
And
haven't
actually
we?
on the crest of Coventry.
It's always
Still
the
there.
elephant. Yeah.
Coventry is symbolised by an elephant with a castle on its back, usually with a background of red and green. The elephant we've never actually seen in the 14th century, but we'd heard about this mythical beast that was so big and so strong it could even carry a small castle on its back with men. So we decided that's a great symbol for Coventry because we believe we are strong.
We were never taught about the British Empire. We saw good bits, the Queen visiting and things like this, and natives dancing for her.
The British Empire itself actually ended back 1905, 1910, didn't it? Before the First World War.
It was finishing, yes.
Yeah, and the First World War should have completely not destroyed it, but thrown that concept away.
But that legacy of empire was the undercurrent
Yes.
in the First World War.
They would have
as well.
brought up with
Well,
it, wouldn't
the
they?
sad thing I find about Hood VC is that he finished as a corporal.
The personal impact when you hear from somebody whose family it is, you see these medals and the bits of paper that was sent, and have been handled by your grandfather, for me, makes it all really much more poignant.
When he went out for the third or fourth time, during one of the journeys, Hutt was fired at by enemy snipers and bombers who pressed within a few yards of him and came through unscathed. One of the German officers who saw Hutt's handling of the men said he was a born leader and ought to have been an officer. He added that so long as the British Army produced such private soldiers, Germany would struggle to beat them. Another prisoner we caught said that when Hutt was first noticed from German lines, the officer offered a reward for the soldier who brought him down. And all through the subsequent operations, he was the subject of all, in other words, he was the focal point of all enemy operations. They sniped at him, never hit him. They aimed machine guns at him, and sometimes he seemed to be moving through streams of bullets.
28th of March 1916, Bisley Camp, Surrey. Dear Mother, I'm going on all right. Arrived here about 6 last night. A nice lot of young chaps here. We spent the evening sitting round the stove. I found a few chaps here from Coventry, so I shall be all right.
A lot of people found it very moving. A lot of people, sort of came out in tears, to be honest, because it is quite a sad story. The two telegrams there, or two of the most really important documents, they are the telegrams informing his mother that he had died. And the interesting thing about them is that they're both sent. She received both telegrams on the same day. The first one says that he's seriously ill. Come visit, come quickly if you want to see him. And then just a few hours later, they get another one to say he's died.
We're in the gallery now that deals with the technological developments between 1914 1919, and it's fascinating to see the speed of the technological change from horse-drawn carriages through to full-scale Maudsley trucks and the later developments with the motor cars and staff cars.
I was fascinated by this Triumph motorcycle, which is next to me, because it's a 500cc engine, only capable of 40 miles an hour. When I was a kid, I had an old 250 that was capable of 90 miles an hour. Bit of a difference, and that was a 1946 machine. Things have changed with technology.
It's quite amazing, I think, how technically we became advanced all of a sudden because of the war. Looking at the Maudsley in there, it was quite sophisticated for its time, I think. So it was a case of, because of the war, they had to advance electronically, engineering-wise, and it probably helped the car industry afterwards.
They're rebuilding a Maudsley truck, which would have been one of many that carried munitions and troops to the front. It's fascinating to see their very heavy wheels, the fact that they were almost without any conformer suspension. The drivers were very exposed, there was no heating, they literally had little or no cover, and when you think of the conditions they had to run in.
What I've learned is it's quite interesting, looking at the Maudsley engine, I could actually look at it, and because I'm of an age where I used to work on my own cars at one time, I could actually recognise the components. I didn't think I would be able to. So I could see the magneto, and I could see the carburettor, and I could see all the basic workings of it, and understand the principles of it.
So the Landscapes of Life exhibition was very moving. It was peaceful, respectful, and at the same time made me wonder whether war was the only answer. Was it natural? Should we be at war? Is that the way that mankind was meant to be? And why haven't we learned over all the centuries that we just seem to have a natural affinity to go out and kill things, kill each other?
My visit to the National Memorial Arboretum makes me think about the immense loss of life in lots of conflicts, and I feel like there's a peace about this place. While it commemorates that loss of life, there's a peace about this place, and there's a thing about the life of trees, the way living stuff is making that memorial to those men who lost their lives.
It makes me feel that the same people gave their lives that I can have freedom today to even walk in here and see the exhibits and everything else that's presented.
I'm looking round these walls and I see all the empty walls waiting for names to go up there, and I wonder, we'll never learn. Why don't we learn? Why do we need these empty walls?
At the moment, it makes me feel very, very sad. So much death and destruction.